بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين. Welcome to another session of 2030 Leaders Mic. ومعانا اليوم هبة الزمزمي، قائدة في مجالها وفي مجالات عدة، واليوم حنسمع ونتعرف عليك يا هبة. So who's Hebah the person?
So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me, Annie, and creating this platform where we get the chance in it to share the stories and inspire one another and find that connection, and we can connect to one another. So thank you so much, Dina.
Thank you for being with us.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين. Who is Hebah? I'm gonna borrow what's his name? His name just skipped my mind. Interesting books, he's a coach. And usually how he introduces himself is through his values. So I'm going to borrow that. And who is Hebah? Hebah is an authentic person who is about receiving love and giving love. About family-oriented, about continuous growth. I always work on how can I grow, how can I improve, and gaining wisdom from the experiences and the events and the hardships we go in life. So this is in a nutshell, Hebah.
Hebah, I love that you used the love. We grew up in a community where it was like taboo at a time, to say love, because it was it only had to do with a man-woman relationship, and that's love. Love is everything we do, everything we give, everything we receive, and love to ourselves, كمان. That's really beautiful, and it's something that I think needs to, you need to infect everybody around you with that love. لأنه it's really needed, and it's a very important thing. You're also, mashallah, you're a mother of two.
Yes, yeah.
You have two beautiful girls.
I have Noor and Maryam. Noor is 10 years old. Maryam is 8. Being a mother, honestly, is a journey of itself, and it's a learning. They teach me on a daily basis on being curious about life, the questions they keep asking. They bring out the child out of me. So sometimes when I lose that connection with the busy life, and sometimes honestly تيجي أيام اللي هو خلاص كفاية أسئلة. But other days the questions actually going back to the basics, it takes you back. اللي هو you start seeing things from a fresh eye where we're used to things around us, but when you see it with a fresh eye, you start becoming curious, and the ordinary things start to become not really ordinary. It starts to you see it in a different way.
Or you find yourself going back to مثلا what you thought you knew of the answer to that question. And today this generation is challenging it in a different way. فيخليكي غصبا عنك, you're like, you rethink it.
You rethink things, yes.
You rethink
and that's
it.
What's happening.
That's the growth and the relearning.
Yes, honestly, I'm privileged and I'm blessed to have these two, alhamdulillah, daughters.
Allah يديمك تاج على راسهم إن شاء الله.
آمين ويحفظهم يا رب.
آمين.
إن شاء الله ويقدرني على إني برضو إنه الواحد يطلع جيل صالح وسليم إن شاء الله، ويقدروا ينفعوا بلدهم ووطنهم.
صح إن شاء الله ينفعوا أمهم.
إن شاء الله. I'm not going to be selfish, but it will come naturally, hopefully.
Yes, إن شاء الله. طيب, obviously you have a journey that we're going to hear about more. But if you can tell us مثلا throughout this journey, let's just tap on the leadership. So when did you feel there was this leadership trigger? Where did the leadership, the Hebah the leader emerge?
That's really interesting question, because as Noura mentioned, everyone has a leader inside of them, but we're not really aware of it. And there are some events in life where this leader starts showing up, and you'll be surprised of yourself and oh wow, I was able to actually to lead and do things, and people were following. For you even surprise yourself. When did the leader come out? I cannot tell you exactly, but I can tell you some of the events that were really hard, and there was no other way but to stand up and to show up to yourself, to the people around you, and to lead. So there are really big events in my life where they were kind of hardships. I've been through challenges, personal level and professional level.
Can you tell us a story?
I have many stories.
Choose one.
So on a personal level, so two big events that really transformed me. The death of my father.
Allah.
It was a very sudden death, where I'm the youngest, by the way, among three older brothers, and I'm the only daughter. So everyone thinks that I'm the spoiled child. But the day my dad passed away, that was like a switch for me, where I was this daddy's girl, and then I changed to this lady who had to start taking care of myself, my mother as well. So the event was really traumatic, but this is when I started seeing life, the real life, where I was protected before, and I was at the age of 19.
Okay.
So so this incident, even though it was really heartbreaking, but there are some things in life I wouldn't have seen if my father was there. And the legacy my father left behind him, he was a professor at the university. From seeing his students talking about him and the impact he left in people. And that's one of the things why I love academia. Because you get to leave impact, and you get to touch students' life and be part of their life. Even later when they grow up, they still remember that person that made me feel different and pushed me to challenge myself and become better person. So seeing that in his students till this day, even though it's been 20 years since he passed away, seeing that, it really brought that, it made me think about what is it that I'm gonna leave in this world when I leave? What is the impact that I want to create? So that was one of the changing points in my life. The other one in my personal life is my marriage and the divorce. It's a really, marriage is a really joyful and nice, and it's a nice journey, partnership. Unfortunately, throughout the time,
things happen.
Things happen. Failure happens. But this is where this whole journey from marriage until the end of this marriage, it's also something that grew and changed my perspective in things, and also with the transition of being with a partner and then being a single mom and solely taking care of these kids, where I had to relocate from one city to another. I was in Riyadh, I relocated to Jeddah, and establishing things, rebuilding things from scratch. My career, my kids in school, their social life, relocating to an apartment, finishing the apartment. So this whole journey was really challenging and hard. But when I look back now, I feel so proud of these events, because otherwise I wouldn't have become the person now. And I'm looking forward for what's coming next.
Made you stronger.
And now I feel like, okay, I'm ready. Whatever. خلاص, I've seen so much now that alhamdulillah, I feel there's if I was able to pass that and get to go through it.
Again, this is one of the traits that we see in all of the leaders that we interview. Perseverance ability to deal with the challenges in a positive way. صح you say إنه everybody has a leader in him. I agree with that to a point maybe, but then يعني there is the part where no, a lot of people face challenges and hardships, but they can't deal with it. خلاص, they stay rock bottom. It takes a lot to be able to pick yourself up and move on, and خلاص, you learn from it زي ما تفضلتي, you grow from it, and you know, you look at the positive sides of it. فما شاء الله عليكي يعني, سلو.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, definitely. It's something that the person gets to choose. يعني I believe it's a decision.
صح.
You want to turn that event to something meaningful, and this is where the book, I don't know if you guys read it, it's Man's Search for Meaning. It's such a profound book that through our sufferings we find growth, and that's where we find the meaning sometimes.
سبحان الله. عسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم.
Yes, بالضبط.
Hebah, tell us about your professional journey.
Professional life, it was quite of a journey. So I started studying computer science في جامعة الملك عبد العزيز. قلت لك والدي كان دكتور في الجامعة. لما والدي الله يرحمه توفى I dropped وقعدت تقريبا 6 months doing nothing. خالي جاني وقال لي أنا عندي course about how to start a small business. I was like, okay, I'm not doing anything. Let me start that course.
حلو.
I took that course and I started brainstorming what kind of ideas, business ideas. يعني. So I came up with an idea. I went for market research, market plan. I did يعني the business plan, everything. And I locked in an investment.
Oh.
So I went back to my mom وقلت لها I'm not gonna continue college. I'm just gonna start my business and become a businesswoman. طبعا my mom panicked. My father was قالت لي أبوكي دكتور في الجامعة. إيش تتخيلي ردة فعل أبوكي لو عرف؟ وقتها كانت الابتعاثات فتحت. فقلت لها طيب إذا ما حتخليني I start this business بطلع بعتها. فكانت لسه احنا كنا أول دفعة، فماما كانت مشككة في الموضوع إنه يعني لا ما حتجيبها it's gonna be hard. قلت لي طيب أوكي، وقدمت وفي لحظتها جاني القبول.
ما شاء الله.
فرحت ماما جاني القبول، فهي انصدمت. لا وريني طيب. وريتها. فمن هناك طلعت ابتعاث because I had interest in computer science and I had this experience in starting up a business. I wanted something that had both. فلما رحت على أمريكا درست computer information system. فهو يجمع ما بين التكنيكال سايد ديفلوبمنت وما بين البزنس سايد. So I finished my bachelor's. I came back to Saudi واشتغلت for several years في IT. From an IT firm to FMB, Sadafco for some time, and then I went to banking, البنك الأهلي, واشتغلت هناك سنتين وكنت developer at first.
ما شاء الله.
And I was blessed with a really, alhamdulillah, great manager who noticed I was good in management. So he was like, he approached me وقال لي يعني, what do you think about becoming a project manager rather than a developer? I was like, okay, let me try it. يعني. So he trained me وبدأت I managed some projects, and one of them was الأهلي mobile application, the first version of الأهلي mobile. So عندي انتماء للapplication. During that time, there was an opportunity that كان في competition كان اسمه مبادرة ونا في سوق جدة. It's about entrepreneurship. So you just pitch in an idea and then they take you through workshops, and then if you passed, they will find investors for you, and then so I went through that journey. I was one of the top 3 alhamdulillah يعني
ما شاء الله.
فكان that was the start of Beti Express. Beti Express started in 2013. It was about ready meals, packaged meals. I started it with my mom's recipe. My mom is a very good cook.
ما شاء الله.
I took her recipes, started R&D multiplying it وياما أشياء خبصت ورميناها في الزبالة وأشياء. I started testing. And then I started with the network around me, sending them some meals. And things naturally started growing until we locked in an investor, VC.
MashaAllah.
And they asked me to focus on the business. If I want this investment, I went and I resigned. Even though my manager told me, I will support you. You can do both. But I told them this was a requirement from the investors. So I resigned and I focused fully on Beatty Express for 6 years.
MashaAllah.
So we took it from home business to a centralized kitchen. I went and took HASP certificate to make it up to the standards, HASP standards.
MashaAllah.
طبعا as an any entrepreneur أحلام كبيرة وتتفاجئ بالواقع ويجيكي one hurdle after another. we've had a really difficult bumpy journey. In the end في 2018 مع الأزمة الاقتصادية our investors they أعلن إفلاسهم وإحنا اضطرينا إن إحنا نقفل شركتنا فدخلنا في مع قضايا ومشاكل وكده بس it wasn't easy but definitely it was one of the things that shaped me again and it was a very hard experience but then I came out of it with resilience alhamdulillah with a lot of experience on a personal level and a professional level as well.
Hebah, there's a part of the story that I think you told me before and I think it's worth mentioning لأنه there's you took it to another level altogether لمرحلة إنه ما شاء الله you were selling to supermarkets.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just إنه يمكن كان سابق أوانه.
Yes.
So maybe you want to explain that part.
Yeah. فإحنا الحمد لله كنا بنوزع منتجاتنا لتقريبا 20 فرع في جدة ومكة مانويل دانوب وبن داود. We were in the process إنه ندخل Panda as well under our theme. So we were expanding الحمد لله. The business was doing well. Basically the growth we were growing it and we were doing well.
خلينا دحين اللي هو how انتي ما شاء الله from a corporate to entrepreneurship and then back to corporate.
Okay.
صح?
Yeah. So there was something in the middle. So during closing my business, I was doing my MBA في كلية الأمير محمد بن سلمان in entrepreneurship. And this is where things started clicking with me. Seeing the theories and then because I've been through it, but now I have the knowledge. So it was easy for me to grasp. And this is one of the things where I would recommend anyone before doing masters having that practical experience because things will click and things will make sense. So alhamdulillah, I was fortunate enough to have that experience. After I finished my MBA, that was when I was introduced to digital marketing. So I was intrigued. This is a creative area with a technical background where it resonates with me a lot. There was a course by Misk and General Assembly. I took that course in digital marketing and that was my introduction with Misk basically.
Okay.
So when I finished the course, General Assembly called me back as a teacher assistant. I was one of the top students because I was loving the subject too much. So after I completed that, I was like a teacher assistant with them. And then they were starting up they're setting their office in Riyadh. So with my background, entrepreneurial background and all that, they were like, we're looking for someone with your profile. Would you be interested to join our team? So I joined them and we were doing amazing job. And that was one of the things I was really passionate about because it was related, we were kind of educating people, but not in the traditional way. It was very practical because we were bringing experts from the market who are hands-on and working, and not any experts. We will bring them from the States, all the way from the States. So they are, they are top-notch.
Yeah.
So they come and they share their experiences and what's happening out there and what is the future with the students. So alhamdulillah, it was really nice experience where I felt I was leaving an impact. There were some people we were making a change in their lives, a career shifting. Some people are just engineers. They want to become data scientists. They want to become digital marketers like myself. So it was really interesting seeing these people and after that how their future is shaping.
MashaAllah. MashaAllah alayk.
So that was for some time until COVID.
Hey.
And then the business started just slowing down. Chegg is an American company in the Silicon Valley. They approached me, and that's when things were booming for Chegg. Chegg is a learning platform where they help students with their studies. So with the online learning back in the days with the lockdown, I think there was a huge traffic coming to their website. So they weren't even considering the MENA region. And that's when they started considering, okay, there's an opportunity here, so let's tap in this market. So I joined them as a regional growth manager, just bridging that gap and understanding the market here and how we can expand further. So I worked with them for a year. And then after 1 year, when life started returning back to normal, the business slowed down again because that traffic was coming basically from the online. So the behavior changed, the market changed. And that's when they decided to end my contract. And that exact day, I received the news that they're not renewing my contract was the day that my marriage ended. So it was like 2 hits on the same day.
Wow.
Yeah. But now seeing it, I'm grateful for the experience. And after that, I joined 2030 Leaders. It was a blessing that I was unemployed during that time, so I was focused.
Yeah, it kept
in
you
the
busy.
Program. It kept me busy, And the program itself is a transformational journey. And what I was going through, it was all, it's just all fun. It's Allah's plans, and no one can plan anything better than Allah. فسبحان الله نرجع تاني عسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم. فهنا where you look back, you start seeing things, reflecting back, wow, that was amazing what I've been through, and
صح.
I couldn't have planned it any better. After completing the program, I joined Goody, and that was my transition back to Jeddah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm right now a senior brand manager for Goody Kitchen. Goody Kitchen is a food platform. I'm a foodie myself, so I love it. It's a digital platform, so it also makes sense with me a lot, where we get to build community of foodies and those who are passionate about food. We are the human side of the brand Goody, the experiential side. So we get to create that emotional bond with our consumers.
Yeah, I think right now you're the perfect person for this because you have the blend of all that you just mentioned, which is exactly what's needed to create this whole new direction that they're working on. Allah يبارك جهودك هبة يعني ما شاء الله تبارك الله. Again, there's a lot of growth that happened, obviously, whether it was in reasons that you chose or not. Like, and you did choose to look at it in a positive way. وما شاء الله يعني صار في variety و experiences مختلفة. Actually, saying that, I remember that I'm actually going to ask you a question to trigger an experience that يعني خليني مين ربك؟ مين ربك؟ السؤال. Everybody's like, what? What?
I think everyone, طيب.
إيش قصة السؤال هذا؟ إيش قصة السؤال هذا؟ حكينا.
طيب السؤال ده أنا اتولدت في أمريكا وعشنا يعني عشت جزء من طفولتي في سياتل. فسياتل يعني أجواءها ممطرة، جرين، برد الجو طوال السنة تقريبا. أبوي الله يرحمه كان بيدرس PhD. فلما رجعنا السعودية في مدرسة جنب بيتنا، يعني أنا البنت الوحيدة وأهلي يخافوا علي ما يبغوني أروح مدرسة بعيدة عن البيت، فأقرب مدرسة لأنا كانت مدرسة حكومية فحطوني في المدرسة دي.
كم كان عمرك؟
كان عمري 7 سنوات. فكانت يعني صدمة بالنسبة لي، يعني it was a culture shock. في الأيام الأولى أنا لسه ماني اللغة يعني عربي ماني فاهمة، يعني things are really different for me. فواحدة من البنات جات بتسألني إنه عرفت إنه أنا من أمريكا، قعدت تسألني يعني عن أمريكا وكيف حياة في أمريكا. وواحدة من الأسئلة قالت لي تعرفي من ربك؟ فأنا طبعا ما فهمت إيش ربك، إيش يعني ربك، يعني ما I didn't get it. فقلت لها أنا أستغفر الله هذه الكافرة، وجمعت علي الطلاب هذه من أمريكا الكافرة الفاسقة. that experience يعني seeing different worlds، يعني أمريكا وبعدين في ذاك الزمانات أيام الصحوة
being misunderstood
and being misunderstood يعني being exposed to different worlds completely. علمتني to adapt and accept the differences. يعني مهما كان يعني I can work on my communication skills and make sure that they get what I'm trying to say. But sometimes يعني people just come from different backgrounds. But sometimes you just need to adapt yourself and shift yourself. That was one of the learnings that okay I need to shift now. أنا ماني في أمريكا، أنا دحين في السعودية.
Throughout your journey, all of this that you've been through, I think also played a role of إن أنت how the communication not just one side. لما somebody says something also يعني أول شيء it's before jumping to a conclusion and putting a box around what they said is like okay, let's make sure that they actually understood the question that's being asked. صح ولا لا? When you get an answer that's totally shocking.
And being empathizing with the other person and putting yourself in their shoe and seeing things from their point of view based on what they have been through, what is their background. So when you get to go through that process, and يعني as a marketeer that's يعني part of my work. فالحمد لله it's one of the things that يعني it comes to me naturally, and I think it's one of the things that makes me a good marketeer as well. Where yes, when you get to see things from their point, you'll be able to connect and relate with them يعني more on a higher level.
So هبة مع كل الlayers والexperiences هذه اللي عندك, what would be the to go to for Hebah Zamzami?
So to go to right now, I'm working on becoming a certified coach. So I've completed the first level of ICF. Now, inshallah, I'm working on getting the ACC level. As a coach, yani, it has been always something that people tell me, and why don't you become a coach? Why don't you? My friends come to me. So based on the experience I have been through, yani, different industries, different. So this is where I believe in the career transition is something yani, I've been through. I can definitely coach in that. Starting up a business, taking ideas and strategizing, and then taking that strategy and turning it into tactics and seeing it in reality. So it's not only the strategy, also executing that strategy and seeing it in real life. That is something that definitely I can provide.
MashaAllah. So I think I hugged the mic for long enough. I'm going to open the floor to the questions.
هبة ما شاء الله تبارك الله سيرة ملهمة وجميلة، الله يعطيك العافية.
الله يسعدك.
سؤالي هو كيف أثرت الانتربرنورشيب life in your life يعني بشكل كامل؟ إيش الإكسبيرينس ولا إيش الكومبتنسز اللي أخذتيها من الحياة كلها؟ وهل عندك استعداد تكرريها مرة تانية؟
So يعني ما أعرف إذا هو ال entrepreneurship اللي that affect me ولا أنا علشان I'm a person who is I'm flexible and I like to explore things and I like to try different things. فال entrepreneurship was a good fit for me. Because what entrepreneurship gives you is that the experiences in different fields where you get to experience marketing, you get to experience sales, so one day, so you're wearing different hats. And this is definitely some of the things that I enjoy doing. It's not boring at all, but it's definitely stretching. So what I've learned is that I know now that I don't like operations. It's very boring for me. I'm not good at it. So if I'm going to go back and repeat the experience, I'll be more aware of what are the things that I'm good at and I'm strong at, and what are the things that I'm not. So that's when I try to find a partner who fills that gap, and we complement one another.
Thank you, Hebah, really, for sharing your inspiring story. I think, mashallah, you're a very strong person. And I love also the energy behind it. So you mentioned there are things that you naturally have as a leader and things that you learn. So if you would tell us what your friends would say, like how would they explain Hebah in a few words? Give us that perspective.
How they would explain Hebah? They would explain Hebah as the loyal friend, caring, good listener, coach. I coach a lot. But at the same time, I'm also vulnerable. So I open to them just like they open to me. So in order for someone to open to you, you open to them as well. So just like I take, I give as well. So give and take.
Nice.
الله يديك العافية هبة. Nice stories, learnings through life. تعلمتي من ربك when you were 7, which is awesome. But also you've learned a lot of things and you've been exposed to so many things, mashallah, such a short period of time. من كل اللي تعلمتيه وكل اللي عرفتيه عن نفسك و all of the experiences, what would you want your legacy to be in life?
My legacy? So legacy is a very big word. And that was one of the things that, when I started thinking about it, what is going to be my legacy? Am I going to write a book? Am I going to create something? But then I realized it's not really, it doesn't necessarily need to be something as big. It could be just within the network around you, the people around you. On your daily basis, sometimes it could be just a smile, a nice gesture, kindness, act of kindness. This is leaving the places wherever you are. If you don't leave it at the same shape, if you don't leave it in a better shape, leave it in the same shape, but don't ruin or destroy anything. So this is the legacy, at least. It might be simple, but it's something that is doable. And whatever opportunity comes up, I believe in Allah's plans, definitely. So whatever Allah is putting in my way, I would take it with an open heart. And even if it didn't, if it failed eventually, there's definitely a lesson. في حكمة إحنا ما إحنا عارفينها وما نشوفها.
سبحان الله.
طيب هبة interesting journey صراحة، ويمكن فيها a lot of challenges. فإيش رأيك في المقولة اللي تقول no pain no gain؟ في ناس كثير يؤمنوا إنه عشان نكسب شيء لازم نمر خلينا نقول painful stage يمكن يكون temporary. do you believe إنه هذه المقولة صحيحة؟ ولو هي صحيحة إيش الأشياء اللي اكتسبتيها out of painful خلينا نقول experiences اللي أنت مريتي فيها في حياتك؟
أتفق معاها، بس مش إنه to the point إنه no gain at all. You can gain. If you don't go through, not necessarily you go through pain. You can gain, but you might gain this much. Well, when you push yourself and pushing self, this is where it becomes painful. When you stretch yourself, and this is where the gain becomes bigger. And at the same time, yani, the risks are higher. Just like any investment, when you invest in something, the cost could be yani, this much. So it depends on the person, if they're willing to take it, if they're yani, it depends on the perspective. My gain, yani, I haven't planned that. Yani, the journey I have been through, it's not something that I planned for, and I don't know what's gonna come in the future. But what I have gained is that going back and seeing the things I've been through, and I alhamdulillah, I've passed it, and yani, I was able to go through it and succeed after that. Now I'm not afraid of what's going to come in the future. I've gained that confidence. While back then I didn't have the confidence in myself. I was completely a different person. So subhanallah, this journey really reshaped me and re-identified me in a way that when I look back, I see a person who is different completely than the person I am right now. Alhamdulillah.
Well, that's amazing, and I think that goes back to what you started off by saying, I'm a continuous learner and I grow all the time. On that note, احنا حنقول لك thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hebah, this was awesome, and thank you everybody
Thank you so
for
much.
being here ولإقراء الجلسة, والسلام عليكم
Thank you.
ورحمة الله وبركاته.